Konnichiwa and welcome to the Leadership Japan series, and I am your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story, President of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, and much more importantly, you are a student of leadership, highly motivated to be the best in your business field. If you enjoyed the program, then you might consider subscribing on iTunes and leaving a review. We would love to hear what you think about the series. How it's like your own access to 103 years of the accumulated wisdom of Dale Carnegie Training. Get our free report, Stop Wasting Money on Training, How to Get the Best Results from Your Training Budget, plus our free white papers, guidebooks, reports, training videos, blogs, newsletters, course information, plus much more at japan.dalecarnegie.com. Today, episode 85, Dale Carnegie Training Secrets. We have a very special interview with the Director of Training for Dale Carnegie Training in Japan, Mr. Yuichiro Ishihara. Ishihara-san, you are the Director of Training for Dale Carnegie in Japan. What do you do in your job?
My major responsibilities includes mainly two things. One is maintain high quality on the content, and also maintain high quality on the trainers. That's my main responsibilities.
Tell us a little bit about the contents, and then tell us a little bit about the trainers.
Okay. We create the contents in the U.S. mainly. We have special team in Carnegie University, and what we call Learning and Organizational Development Team.
So you have a team of specialists at the Carnegie University developing curriculum, basically.
Right, and they have special designers, and they create the contents, and not just create the contents, they actually test the contents in the real classes for 2 years.
Mm. Oh, so this is before they release them to the training organizations. Yeah.
Then they release it, and they split it into global, and then we take it, and we actually localize the contents for the Japanese environment.
Oh, so you're getting the curriculum from the Dale Carnegie University, you get it to Japan, and how do you localize it? What do you do with that?
So what we call global reach and local touch. Yes, that means we can deliver the program anywhere in the global, and also we're going to be able to localize the contents to the local environment. For example, the English and Japanese language is different, and also the culture is kind of different. So we got to be able to adapt to the Japanese environment.
Mm-hmm. And well, you've got Japanese trainers delivering it as well. So I guess that's also another level of natural localization right there, isn't it?
That's right. So we have 40 trainers, and also the 80% of the trainers are native Japanese speakers. So we have really localized trainings.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk a little bit about the trainer development that you talked about before in terms of looking after that.
Yeah. So basically, our trainers has to be professional business person before they become trainers, teachers. And also, they have to go through the certification process, what we call Trainer Academy, which is 250 hours process.
250 hours long. That's a serious process.
Yes. And also, it's controlled by ISO 9001 certification process.
Okay. Right, so it's very rigorous then.
Right. And the Train Academy consists of a core competency training event, which is boot camp. Mm-hmm. We teach trainer candidate about how to present in front of the classroom, and also how to engage, how to facilitate with the participants, and also how to feedback and how to coach participants to build their leadership and to build their self-confidence. That's what we do. And we spend more than 5 full days with our core competence training, and that's really tough event. Yeah. And when they pass the core competency event, they go into the what we call product endorsement event, which is we create the kind of a real class. We invite the people from outside. They don't know anything about the Dale Carnegie, so this is a real class. And trainer candidate has to deliver the contents in the real situation, interacting with the participants, and we as master trainers sit in the back and check the how trainer goes, how they do that, and then coach them a lot. And also that's very tough event. Yes.
So you said that you needed the trainers to have a business background. Why don't you just hire so-called professional trainers? You know, someone joined the company, went into internal trainer role for 10 years or something, a so-called professional trainer. Why do you not look for those sorts of people?
Right. Our training is really based on business context. So which means trainer has to teach people based on the business knowledge, business experience. For example, if trainer doesn't have any experience on sales, trainer cannot teach sales, how to sell, right? If a trainer doesn't have any experience as leaders or managers, they can't teach leaders. So we really select people carefully based on their business experience.
And after they go through boot camp and they go through the endorsement, what happens after that? Is there continuous training after that, or certification events after that, or recertification?
After endorsement events, they're not still solo trainers, right? So we have to do a tandem process, which means in a real class, they have to be able to deliver the courses with senior trainers, right, to maintain the quality of the classes. And minimum, they have to do at least 2 times in tandem, and then they can be a solo trainers.
So when you're talking about courses, this is not like a one-day course they've got to do, right? This is multiple weeks of course.
That's right. Usually we do 8-week or 10-week class.
So tandem means twice, means like 4 months of actual in the classroom, senior trainer there being coached again.
Yeah, it's a long trip.
Oh, yeah, that's a long trip, yeah.
So after that, not just they're a solo trainer, right? So they're solo trainer, but they have to attend at least one time for trainers recertification event.
Oh, this is official recertification event annual.
Right. Annually, we do the event, and they have to attend, and we assess them based on the core competency.
What if they don't turn up?
They're not Dale Carnegie trainer anymore.
Oh, they're out, right? So if you want to keep going, you've got to be there.
That's right.
Right, okay. And what about, apart from that, is there any sort of regular coaching for the trainers?
Yep. We do a lot of practice session among the trainers. We actually do at least 2 times a month.
Oh, okay.
Practice session.
Right. Twice a month, right. Okay, great.
And we do a lot of coaching practice, feedback practice, facilitation practice, using the real contents and using the real classroom environment. And we do a lot of practice. Yes.
How to Win Friends and Influence People has been a continuous bestseller since it was released in 1936 in the States. So everyone's got the book, basically. You know, why do you need training? Why can't you just read the book and get it all from there?
Story-san, you read a lot of the books, right?
I do.
Right. So you remember everything?
No.
Right. And you actually apply what you learned from the book in the reality?
Not everything.
Right. That's the whole point. You know, that's the what we call knowledge trap.
Knowledge trap.
Knowledge trap.
What's that about?
So we learn from the book. We can learn from the book, for example, how to win friends and influence people, and we understand that the contents of the book, right? But it's in here, not in here. Okay. So we can't use it for example, in a business. For example, we read a book and understand the importance of smile, importance of have a genuine interest to others, how to lead people, but we can't actually apply in a business reality because it's there, it's a real. It's not easy thing. So we need help to apply those what I learned. So that's why we need training. We are here, and in the training, we as a trainer coach participants how to apply those concepts or how to apply those principles because they have no idea sometimes. So we coach them. And for example, if someone wants to learn how to present more effectively, how to speak more effectively, and we coach them. It's not a book. It's in a book, actually, but they can't do it for themselves. So that's what we hear.
Yeah, it's a bit like you have the TED Talk or the magazine article or the book, and you read it, but you actually, if you don't apply it, it's meaningless, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right. So we have a lot of contents, the iPads or iPhones and apps or their books, e-books. Yeah. A lot of contents is going on, but if we can't apply those concepts, nothing happens.
Yeah. I guess it's that taking that, you sort of talk about the knowledge trap of just having access to it, but not implementing.
Right, that's right. Exactly true. Right.
Of the Fortune 500 companies, 90% are using Dale Carnegie training. Why is that?
It's simply because we are very practical. I used to be an HR manager for IT company, and I done a lot of training. And those training is kind of blah, blah theory, blah, blah technique. A lot of theories going on in the training, but actually it's not easy to apply. But our training is everything is really practical. For example,
soft skills.
Soft skills. For example, take a looking at Dale Carnegie's human relation principles. It's really specific action, like smile, like make feel them important, or don't argue with somebody. It's very, very, very practical ideas. So that means people can apply those concepts easily in the reality. That's the main reason. I think that's the very major reason why the Fortune 500 using us.
I guess that's an issue, isn't it? You can have a lot of theory, and I've been to lots of business executive training courses, Harvard, Stanford, some of the top schools, and it's great, but it's very macro, and when you come back to your desk, it's hard to instantly implement things. And what you're talking about here is for the Fortune 500 companies, they see the people they send on the courses getting immediate application and therefore immediate outputs.
That's right. So we actually discussed about the contents and not just explain the contents. We actually, with the participants, discuss and learn from the activities. That's why they get it. They realize that, oh, this is what we need. This is how we apply. That's a very important thing in that.
Japan loves lecture. A lot of the training in Japan's all, the sensei, the instructor, talk. What's Dale Carnegie doing that's different?
Okay. We have principles to teach something, what we call 10% trainer talk, and rest of the 9% participants talk.
The trainer should only be talking for 10% of the time. The participants should be talking for 90% of the time.
Right.
Right.
Because, once the trainer or teachers talk a lot, what happens? Probably all the participants fell asleep and, they're just like that. Right. So it's no results. So that's why we talk less and have them talk, have them busy, have them learn something.
So the instructors guiding the people to do interactivity. Right. So it sounds like there's a lot of interaction going on in the classroom.
Yeah. That's because we want to engage people, and we want to make them realize, oh, this is important. this is what we need.
And what about the sense of ownership too? Because when it's the teacher talking all the time, the teacher owns all the content. So you're trying to get the transfer of the ownership out of the teacher owning it to the participants owning it. So how do you do that?
Yeah. We facilitate the discussion and we facilitate the classroom. And in order to do so, we actually ask a lot of questions based on their business context. Once we ask the question, they start to think about how to do that, what's the difficulties, how to resolve that. That's very important thing. Have them think about it. That creates the ownership.
That's a type of self-discovery methodology.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I guess in terms of permanent learning, that's a very effective methodology because a lot of the times it's in one ear and it's out the other. If you ask people a month later after training, what do you remember? Often they don't remember anything. It's all gone. So I guess you're trying to use a different methodology to get them to retain the information and then use it.
Right. In a classroom, we always have them commit something to use something different way, and that's very critical thing. Have them commit something, because otherwise they don't do anything differently.
Straight back to their desk and keep doing the same things in the same way and getting the same results. So you want to step it up and have a better outcome, right?
Exactly. And also we encourage companies to follow them up because once they finish courses, everyone tends to get back to the normal, regular job, right? So we really encourage a classroom or the companies to use us as a follow-up tool. Because once follow-up going on, they keep learning. They keep applying those concepts they learned. That's very critical.
Tell us a little bit about the curriculum of Dale Carnegie training. What sort of training do you provide?
Okay. Basically, we do soft skills, and our curriculum areas consists of 6 parts. One is team member engagement. This is really what we do very good because we've done over 100 years. We're teaching how to interact with people, how to deal with people, how to build a very good team. That's what we do. For example, sometimes we M&A merging is going on in the company, and 2 groups cannot go well each other.
It's very typical, isn't it?
Right.
It's a big problem.
That's right. So it's not team building is going on. So that's why we're there and teach how to build relationship each other and how to build the teamwork. And that's what we're doing very well.
A lot of companies too, the senior leadership changes and then the direction of the company changes, or they want to introduce a new culture. I guess that team engagement would be important for getting people behind those sorts of things too.
That's right. Exactly true. And also that, in that sense, we do leadership curriculum area. So that's also very important in the organization because leadership is really strong influence to the organization. So we teach how to lead people, how to manage people, how to motivate them. That's what we do well.
Japan too, there's a lot of demand lately for more leadership training. It seems that succession planning is becoming more important. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. Now, I see a lot of companies suffering from or having difficulties creating new leaders because they have cultures, but they don't have any cultures to develop leaders. So that's why they need someone who can do that. And that's why they choose us.
And I guess in that leadership development, you've got new leaders, sort of mid-level leaders. Are there different programs for those different groups?
Yes, it depends on what they need. So we cover whole area of the leadership. Senior leadership, middle leadership, junior leadership, we cover all of them. Right.
And what are some of the other curriculum areas that you're looking after?
We provide presentation curriculum area, which
Japan surely needs some more of that. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dale Carnegie training is basically used to be their public speaking school.
Oh, 102 years ago when it started, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
New York and YMCA, Dale Carnegie studied the public speaking courses. And that's the origin of Dale Carnegie training. So we know that. We know how to do it. We know how to present in front of people effectively, how to persuade people, right? So that's what we provide. And all the participants are really happy about our presentation program, especially.
And what are some other areas? So we've got leadership, team engagement, presentations.
And also sales. Yes. In sales, we provide sales curriculum area over 70 years. Over 70 years. And we started Sales Advantage courses 72 years ago now. And we do well. And I think sales is all about human relation, how to connect with people.
Trust.
Right, trust, rapport, what we say, and how to get the interest from them, and how to persuade about solutions. So it's all about the human relation, it's all about the communication skills. So that's why our sales program is really strong.
What about B2C and B2B?
Yeah, we do both, actually. Yeah, so the B2C and B2B, it's actually basically the same thing. The selling process is really similar, but the customer is different. So the sales process has to be changed.
So the framework's the same, but the detail changes.
Or context is different. Right.
What's the sixth area that you cover?
Process improvement of human side.
Okay.
Yes. So for example, we introduce innovation. So some of the clients wants to be innovative, wants to have innovative culture in the organization, and we do that. Innovation is not just the concept. It's all about the teamwork, how to create innovative culture in the organization, how to interact with people to be innovative. That's our idea. So we teach how to do some very effective meeting for the innovation, and how to apply those ideas implement those ideas in the work. So that's what we teach.
So you have an innovation framework, plus you have that human dimension of how to actually work together to use the framework.
Right, that's right. Because the concept is just concept. If we can't do well in interacting with people or handling people, innovation doesn't work.
Often with innovation, brainstorming stuff, the talkative, dominant people tend to take up all the airtime. And so very, very few ideas really ever come out. What do you do about that type of process? Yeah,
what we call green light thinking and red light thinking. In the green light thinking, it's all about the brainstorming. It's all about the quantity. Quantity.
The numbers of ideas.
Yeah, over the ideas.
No judgment yet.
No judgment, no criticizing, no nothing. It's just all about the quantity.
Volume.
Yeah. And we concentrate those green light thinking first, and then after the green light thinking, we do red light thinking, which is judgment, or prioritizing, or right. So once we separate those thinking mechanism, thinking process, the innovation or brainstorming works.
What about as I said before, we've got some dominant people who, only their ideas get up on the whiteboard type of thing. How do you help the people who are rather quiet or maybe a bit shy? How do you get them involved?
Yeah, we coach them a lot.
It's coaching.
If someone really dominant and talkative, we tell people, no, okay, let's listen to other people's opinion. Okay, or on the other hand, some people are not so talkative, silent, quiet, and we encourage people to talk and appreciate those ideas each other. That's what we do.
I guess in the first stage, you're not
critiquing any ideas. So it's a safe environment to just push out your idea, and then the evaluation comes later.
Yes, that's right. That's the key thing.
Okay, thank you. Dale Carnegie Training has offices in 90 different countries around the world. What does that mean for clients?
For some of the clients have a lot of offices in global, and if they want to have the same training in global, for example, we had a client like a pharmaceutical company, and they actually merged other company. And some of the employees are really nervous because the M&A, and they feel very stressful. So they, actually, the headquarters thinks they need stress management program in global, anywhere in global. They have over 10 places, office in global, and they choose Dale Carnegie training. And we did 2 hours stress management program. So actually, the U.S. headquarters creates the contents, and they train the trainers for this project so that we can deliver the program at the same level anywhere in the world. And we did that. Clients loves it.
What about the other way? What about Japanese companies who recently are buying up companies overseas? They're creating global networks for themselves. Are you doing the same thing for them?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same. So yes, as you said, Japanese company, reaching global right now, and they have to train people, not just Japan, but also other regions in global. So especially, they're creating cultures or creating directions, So they need the same content, same quality in global.
I remember there was a couple of years ago, there was a German company. It was like 31 countries around the world, and then a Danish company was 34 countries around the world. So it's a pretty substantial program rollout, and I guess you're delivering the Japan end in Japanese to the Japanese staff.
Yes. So it's global reach and local touch. So they create it and they reach global, anywhere global, because we have offices global. So we train people in local. We train trainers, right? And how to deliver that, and also local touch. In the reality, the participants will be all Japanese. So we have to be able to adopt those contents so that they can receive those concepts.
Just talk a little bit about the trainers. How many trainers do you have? How many do Japanese? How many do English?
We have 40 trainers in Japan, and 80% trainers are Japanese-speaking trainers, which native Japanese trainers.
So the remainders are native speakers of English, for sure.
Yes, English speakers.
So it's mainly, you can do both, but it's mainly Japanese.
Right, exactly.
I'm sure there are many, many courses that are run by Dale Carnegie that are very popular. What would some of those most popular courses be?
Obviously, Dale Carnegie course. It's very long history courses. It's over 100 years.
Wow, yeah. That must be the longest running course in history, right, I would imagine, yeah.
Example, Warren Buffett took the course.
Oh, the Warren Buffett, the famous Warren Buffett, the investor.
Yes.
Right.
And actually, he did the Carnegie course when he was 20s. And before he took the Dale Carnegie course, he couldn't even talk about his name in front of the people. He was very shy, and he said that his communication skills so bad. But after he takes Dale Carnegie training, he completely changed. That's what he tells us. And he can motivate people. He can persuade people, and the whole thing is changed. That's why he recommended many people to take Dale Carnegie course now.
He's a true believer.
Right.
Yeah. What other courses do you have?
And also we have high impact presentation course, which is really focused on presentation skills, which consists 2 days.
Okay.
And
Intensive course.
Yeah, that's right. And participants will be doing the 7 presentation during the 2 days. And we actually tape them. Video the whole thing. And not just video, we actually review the video with the trainers. And so that the participants...
So you have more than one trainer?
There's 2 trainers, actually. Okay. So we do the review them. We actually review the videos so that they can realize, they can notice what's the difficulties, what's the challenge do they have. And after that, they come back to the room and the presentation, do it again. And in the presentation, not just them present, actually the other trainer coach them hard, really hard. What we say, just like the balloon. After the review room, they come back and do it again with the very strong coaching. Right.
And so they have 7 different presentations they prepare. What sort of things are they doing?
First, they do first impression, positive first impression.
Building a positive first impression.
Yes.
Well, that's very important.
Yeah, because this is very critical for the presentation. People instantly notice, judge the presenters. So that's why their first impression is really critical. And other thing is, we are presenting something. Sometimes the information is really complex.
Complex, difficult to understand, specialist type of information.
Right, technical things, right? So that's why we teach people how to present difficult information or complex information effectively so that the audience can follow that.
What about Q&A? I notice that with a lot of speakers, when they're speaking, they're in control of the material. But when it gets to Q&A, it's like a street fight, there's no rules. So what about that part?
Actually, the challenges for the Q&A part is because it's interactive. Presentation is kind of a one way. It's not actually one way, it's interactive way, but it's kind of one way. But in terms of the interaction, the Q&A is whole interaction. So when we have the hostile audience, it's very risky, right? So we teach people how to deal with the difficult question. We do cushions. We do provide the positive message first, and And those, we have very strong process to respond those difficult questions.
And those hostile questions don't necessarily have to be in a public arena. It could be a meeting with a board of directors. It could be a meeting with the chairman or the big boss asking you a really tough question, right?
That's going on in the company.
Yeah, so useful facility to have at your disposal.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
You're a training director. You've been doing this for a very long time. You've got a lot of insight into the process. For companies who are trying to choose a training company, do you have any advice for them, any hints for them on what to look for?
We have many hints. Above all, they have to choose very good trainers, because the training is all about the trainers and contents, and trainer is a big thing. Because once a trainer talks a lot, like doing a lot of lectures, the audience fell asleep or doesn't listen, right? So the result doesn't change. So good trainer, engage people, facilitate discussion, and coach people. It's all about the interaction based on the participant's business context. That's what clients have to look at to choose the right training companies.
Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series. If you found the program useful, then you might consider subscribing on iTunes and leaving a review. Remember, to access your Dale Carnegie training free reports, white papers, guidebooks, training videos, blogs, newsletters, course information, plus dale@carnegie.com.